Alright, let's dive into something that's been bubbling up in the news lately, and trust me, it's a doozy. Imagine a critical choke point in global trade, a waterway so vital that its closure could send shockwaves through the world economy. That's the Strait of Hormuz, and right now, it's at the center of some high-stakes negotiations between Iran and Oman, with President Trump hinting at a deal as soon as today or tomorrow. But here's the kicker, this isn't just about reopening a shipping lane. It's about geopolitics, military strategy, and the delicate balance of power in the Middle East. What makes this really interesting is the context. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed since the US and Israel attacked Iran back in February, turning this international waterway into a flashpoint. Now, Iran and Oman are hashing out a deal that could bring it back online, but the devil's in the details. One thing that immediately stands out is the proposed traffic management system. Ships would enter through an Iranian-controlled route and exit via Oman. Sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets tricky, there's talk of a service fee. Personally, I think this is where things could get messy. The US has been adamant about not letting Iran charge tolls, with Trump even saying, if anybody's going to charge, we'll charge. But Iran and Oman seem to be moving forward with their own plan. This raises a deeper question, who really controls the Strait of Hormuz, and what does that mean for global trade? From my perspective, this isn't just about money. It's about leverage. Iran has been under immense pressure since the war began, and reopening the strait could give them a strategic advantage. But what many people don't realize is that the US has its own vulnerabilities here. According to recent reports, the US has used nearly all of its long-range precision missiles in the war with Iran. That's right, virtually all of its ATACMS and precision strike missiles are gone. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has downplayed this, calling it a manufactured story, but if you take a step back and think about it, this could be a game-changer. If the US can't sustain its current rate of missile use, it might have to rethink its entire strategy. This isn't just a military issue, it's a diplomatic one too. How can the US negotiate from a position of strength if its arsenal is running low? A detail I find fascinating is the role of Oman in all this. Oman has historically played the role of a neutral mediator in the region, but this deal could pull them deeper into the conflict. If they're managing outbound traffic from the strait, they're essentially becoming a key player in Iran's strategy. What this really suggests is that the Middle East's power dynamics are shifting, and not just because of the war. It's about alliances, economic interests, and the long game of regional influence. Meanwhile, the humanitarian situation in Iran is alarming. The UN rights chief, Volker Turk, recently expressed concern over the surge in executions since March, with at least 56 people executed on national security-related charges. This isn't just a numbers game, it's a tactic to instill fear and suppress dissent. What makes this even more chilling is the lack of fair trials and due process. Confessions allegedly obtained under torture? Public executions? This is a stark reminder of the human cost of political instability. And yet, it's barely making headlines compared to the Strait of Hormuz talks. Why? Because geopolitics often overshadows human rights, and that's a tragedy in itself. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Houthis in Yemen, backed by Iran, have been attacking Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea, escalating their maritime blockade. This isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of the same regional conflict, with Iran using its proxies to exert pressure on its adversaries. If you think about it, this is a multi-front war, with the Strait of Hormuz being just one piece of the puzzle. The question is, can a deal to reopen the strait actually de-escalate tensions, or will it just shift the battlefield? In my opinion, the Strait of Hormuz deal is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it could ease global trade and reduce the risk of further conflict. On the other, it could embolden Iran and complicate US strategy. Personally, I think the real test will be in the implementation. Will Iran and Oman stick to the terms? Will the US accept a deal that gives Iran any level of control? And most importantly, will this deal address the root causes of the conflict, or just kick the can down the road? As we wait for the announcement, which could come any moment now, I can't help but wonder, What does this mean for the future of the Middle East? Is this a step toward peace, or just another chapter in a long, complex story? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more analysis on the stories that matter. Until next time, keep thinking critically and stay curious.